Believe it, it is May already. We're in the 5th month of the year. We've made it. If you are here, if you're looking at me, if you can hear me, if you can see me, um, then you made it. You made it. You're one of the ones who made it. You are here. And that's something to celebrate. That's something to be happy about. Hey, even if things are not the way you think it should be, the way you want it to be, the way it should be, but you are here. Be grateful and thankful that you made it thus far. So we're going to jump in tonight. It's our weekly nugget of wisdom. And I'm so glad you guys got to tune in with me tonight. Appreciate that. So if you don't know me, my name is Tasha, and we try to come in live every Monday for our weekly nuggets of wisdom to be just a moment and a brief space and time to encourage you to jumpstart and kickstart your week, to give you something to think about, maybe ponder on, maybe something to help you along your journey, because that's the whole purpose, for us to help and encourage someone else, to encourage each other as we move along the path in our journey to purpose. All right, so we're all about being intentional and moving forward into purpose. So tonight, if you are looking at us live, I'm so glad that you're here. And if you could, be sure to share this. I would appreciate that as well. Hopefully it can be encouragement to somebody else. All right. Also, I think that's it. Share all that good stuff. All right. So tonight, if you tuning in live, you might see the topic. And tonight is something really simple, but it's finish strong. Tonight's nugget is finish strong. Finish strong. So as I just prefaced the introduction, coming in tonight, I was talking about, we made it to the 5th month of the year. We're here. We made it. You made it. And we're thankful. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. And hopefully you are too, to have a moment in a space of gratitude and appreciation and thankfulness for being here at this stage and at this point in our life, in your life, in the year. Now, there's so much that's happened that we've been, so unsure about a lot of things. And sometimes we've been unsure about whether we would get to this point, right? We didn't know what, it was good enough. We were literally, living sometimes hour by hour or day by day. And we weren't sure if we would make it to this year. And so now we're here, and now we get to see the 5th month. And so I'm thankful, I'm grateful. Now, even in this process and in this journey, we talked about this being a year of being intentional. You've been a part of the Now movement, you've been along this journey with us. We talk about that a lot, and that's what we mention a lot, is being intentional, all right, about our choices and our actions so that we can walk along this journey to purpose and be all that God has called us to be, right? And so even in this time, as we're entering in the 5th month, when the 3rd day of this 5th month, and we talk about, okay, the last month is gone. Maybe you didn't get what you wanted, or things didn't happen the way you wanted to. A lot of different things occurred, but now this is a reset, like a restart. So now we're in the new year, now 2021, we're in this new month. And so what have you, accomplished, or where are you at along this journey? What are you doing? And where are you? And sometimes along the process, the journey, and sometimes where you are, in the scheme of things, can be a tough spot. Sometimes it can be a discouraging spot. Sometimes you've had some resets, some bumps in the road. You've had some moments of shortcomings and failures, right? You've had things that discouraged you, had some things that maybe didn't make the best choices, of done the right things, or just kind of did different things. But I want you to know that even in wherever you are, whatever you're doing, to finish strong. Finish strong. So this came to me because it was just in general conversation, and even just talking to Zach, and he was telling me, like, he only has so many days of school left and all this. And, I was like, well, make sure you finish strong. Make sure, you end on a good note and end on a good foot. And it's something that stuck out to me in in that conversation that we had. He referenced and said, well, I don't know. I think I kind of messed that up already. He might get me later, y'all, because sometimes he don't like me telling these stories. But I think it's something we can all identify with. And I just thought it was so important to be able to share it. Even from a child's perspective, that is something we can still glean off of. And so even when he said that to me, he's like, well, I don't think I can finish strong. I think it's already done. I done messed up. Now, let me say this. Overall, my son, he is intelligent. He's very knowledgeable in a lot of things, and he has done really well in school. In this process of going through school, he's had some hiccups. He's had some bumps along the road. He has some things that he's trying to overcome and to get better in. And so he let one specific area that he has not excelled in, as he has in other areas, make him think that, he's not doing a good job, or that he's not going to finish out strong. And so when we were having this conversation, I said, well, that doesn't mean anything. Yes, I know you didn't get the grade that you wanted right now, but that's what you have, these moments of checkpoints, right? And for them, it's progress reports, and I said, that's what you have these moments and spaces for, so that you can gauge where you are along the journey. You can gauge where you are on this path. You can gauge where you are, according to, what you set for yourself as far as goals, and where you're looking to get to, and where you're looking to accomplish. And so you set these goals, and what your end goal is. Where the finish line is, and you have those check-ins, those check-in points, right? And so even with that, now you realize, okay, I haven't done so well thus far, but that gives you a chance to switch gears. It gives you a chance to reevaluate. It gives you a chance, and as I told him, is to change your trajectory. So I say that a lot with him, because he is a scientific, mathematical person in mind. And I say you have to look at changing, then adjusting your trajectory. Where are you looking to try to get? And are you focused and aligned and set up in that way to get to the end goal? Now, his end goal is to pass his grade, right? To get all passing grades in his subjects, and to finish the year strong, making good, strong grades, A's and B's, doing his best, right? And so when we had that conversation, it brought to me that even in our lives as an adult, like, we're constantly going through this type of process, whether we look at it as in school, even as adults, in our job, in different areas, that we still have these things that, even personally, that we want to achieve or accomplish. Even if we look at things spiritually, or where we want to be in our walk spiritually, and where we want to go, growing and maturing and excelling, that sometimes we get to points where we have those bumps, where we have those opportunities, we have those struggles. And when we go back to evaluate our progress, sometimes it's not where we want it to be. It's not, we haven't progressed like we thought we would. Maybe we thought it was going to be a lot easier, and it turned out to be a lot harder. We just come up against different obstacles and different things, and that can cause us to think that we cannot finish strong. It can cause us to think that we're not going to make it to the end, that we're not going to do well. And, I want to encourage you and let you know, just because along this road and along this journey for you, you had some bumps, you've had some hiccups, you've had some setbacks, and maybe you've had to do some adjustments, does not mean that you cannot finish strong. Does not mean that you won't finish strong. The key thing is you have to still keep going, right? Sometimes we have to still remind ourselves of those things. Even in the course of getting to the end, I thought about, it doesn't matter, like the saying, I think it says, like, it doesn't matter how you start, but it's about how you finish. Sometimes we can start out, um, sometimes we can start out full force, going real good and strong in the beginning, and we fare off and we fall off really at the end, and sometimes don't even finish to the end. And sometimes it can be the opposite. We have struggles, we do things, and it's a little rocky, a little shaky, but then we come up at the end and we finish strong and we succeed, we win, we get the victory. And it always makes me think about even one of those, the story about the tortoise and the hare. Even you can, that one of those fables, those stories that we grew up on, when you think that sometimes in this race that it's all about being fast and all about, getting to the finish line and being so confident because maybe you got the skill, the knowledge, or you just know what you're doing, and then you slack off and then you forget or things happen. But then we have the little tortoise over here who was steady, consistent, although not the fastest, but steadily being consistent, still moving forward. That even in his process, although it was slow and there were things for him that he had to overcome that was different than the hare, he ended up not just finishing, but he finished strong and he won. And so I think about what you're going through and what I may be going through and where you are in your journey, where you are in this race, and where you are right now, that regardless of where you are and how you may feel about your status and point and where you are, that what matters the most is how you finish. And if that means if you're still in the process, that means you have an opportunity to adjust. You have an opportunity to change that trajectory. And just because it started off rough and it was hard, or in the middle, maybe even it started off good in the beginning, you were doing great, and now you're in the middle of the race and you're in the thick of things, and now it's getting real, and now you're having some hiccups, or those opportunities, those struggles, those bumps, those hurdles. I want you to know, even in that, you had some scrapes, some bruises, some bumps, all of that. It hurts, upset, disappointments, frustrations, all of that, and then some. That it doesn't matter at this point in that stage, is if you can push through it and finish strong. And I want you to know that you can finish strong. There are so many things that I can think about. That can I have my real moment? I try to have one. I all the time have one of those with you. But can I tell you a real moment real quick that I know within me, one of the biggest things that I had to really overcome was not running. So having that, that like flight mentality, that when things got hard and got difficult, I was ready to run away from it, ready to leave it alone. Oh, well, that's not really for me then. Nah, I can't do this, or nah, this is too much. Or, this ain't what I'm supposed to be doing or feeling or going through, because I'm not supposed to be, having these challenges. I'm not supposed to face these type of things. And I would literally like run away from it. I would divert and go some completely different area, go somewhere I felt comfortable. I felt, at ease. I felt like it was easy. But you know what? Those same opportunities, the same test, and learning experience kept presenting itself until I finally decided to withstand the test, withstand that opportunity, and not run, but stay in it. Stay in that race, stay in that challenge so that I could learn and grow, and not just go over it, but go through it so I can learn something from it and come out on the other side victorious. Sometimes this life and this journey that we're on and the path that we're on, it's not going to be smooth sailing. It's not going to be a straight shot. There's, not going to be, that newly paved road where there's no potholes and things in the road and in our way to stop us or hinder us. That's not how it goes. There might be some spaces that provide that. But when we come to those challenges, I want to encourage you and let you know that still, even in all of that, have the courage to still stay in the fight, have the courage and the strength to still keep moving and pushing forward, because the ultimate end for you is to finish strong so that you can be victorious. And I know that if you keep that focus, if you keep that in mind, that you can and you will finish strong. It's so important to finish strong. Not only does that do something for you, and I thought about my experiences of how I decided and made that conscious choice that even when it was hard and I was really afraid and I was nervous and, I was kind of like shaking in my boots, and just really afraid about what it meant for me in the next step, in the next chapter, in the next phase of my life. What did that mean for me? And what did that look like? Me being a planner and thinking things out and thinking things through and not really having all of the answers. And then I was ready to go back to what I knew and what I could control and how I could navigate those things. But when I made the decision that even when I didn't know and see all of that, that I would have faith and trust and that I would stick it out and I would stay in it so that I could go through it, so that I could go to the end and I could finish strong. Do you know that yes, those moments were hard and difficult? Yes, those things didn't mean that I didn't get scrapes and bruises and scratches. I have some things that, I came up against and challenges and circumstances that I had to deal with, got those scrapes and bruises. But, they did not kill me. It didn't hinder me. And I was able to move forward. I was still able to get through it all and still come out. Even in all of that, those are things that still refined me even the more, that matured me, that stretched me. And I'm yet still in that process, but just thinking about certain things that I knew that now I can check off. I'm like, I did that. I was able to overcome and conquer that fear or conquer this area because I decided that I wanted to finally finish strong in something. Are you tired of maybe starting and stopping in something? You can never get to the end. You can never get to the finish line. You can never get to complete victory if you constantly stop and start and stop. The way to get to the finish line and to be victorious is that you finish. And I don't care if that means that some days you're dragging and maybe only making one step or two, but you're still moving towards finishing. You're still moving forward. The key is to keep going, to keep pushing, to keep progressing, no matter what, so that you can get to the finish line. You can and will be victorious if you keep pushing. You can't see it now, but there is still something great on the other side. There's still something, your purpose, your goals that you want to achieve, the things that you've thought of and written out, they're there at the finish line, but you have to be determined to finish strong. You still have a chance to turn it around. You still have the opportunity to finish strong. Finish strong. All right. That's really it, guys. Just a little piece of encouragement, and I hope that that does encourage you and bless you. One of the scriptures that we that I think about or read, it's like the race is not given to the swift or to the strong, but it's to the one who endures to the end. Like we can go through whatever it is that we battle and come up against or whatever we're in. But the deal, you can't get no prize. You can't get the victory. You can't get the trophy if you don't go through and finish. No one gets the reward. No one gets recognition or gets accolades for stopping in the middle of the race. No one gets any kudos for starting and stopping. But you get that accomplishment and achievement when you finish and get to the end. All right. So I hope that encourages you, that whatever you set out for the course, even in this week, maybe you set out things and courses and goals for this month. And if you haven't, I will encourage you to, so that you can work to achieve and work towards something in this month. But even in that whatever may come up, there are a lot of things that can come to distract us and things that can try to hinder us. But even in all that, be committed and be intentional about making the conscious choice and decision that no matter what, you're going to go through, you're going to push through, and you're going to finish strong. All right. So finish strong. I want for this week, I pray nothing but that fortitude and courage and stamina for you to have a successful and productive week, that you can finish strong, not just then for this week, but for the upcoming weeks as you go through this journey and whatever space that you are in on your journey, that you will be able to withhold and withstand and finish strong. All right.